Hello.
Hi, hi Gav. How's it going?
I'm good, thanks, Dane. You all right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. How's sunny Wales today?
It's not very sunny, unfortunately. There's a lot of rain. It was beautiful yesterday, but Wales, you can't. Yeah,
You can't win them all.
no, you can't
It's
win them all.
it's not rained in Chesterfield just yet, but I think it's coming. I can feel the rain in the air.
Beautiful.
Uh, well, welcome everyone. Sorry we're late. We had a bit of a technical difficulty when I accidentally closed one of the tabs that I needed, and then
Yeah,
everything completely broke.
true. There was a few panicky moments before we kicked off today.
Yeah.
So thank you for preparing with us. But is there anybody out there? Can anybody give a little comment in the chat just to let us know you're there?
Yeah, let us know if you're there and let us know if you can hear us okay and if there's any noise or any issues.
I'm just going to do the stare at the screen and see.
Good idea.
Yeah. So we'll just wait. Maybe we'll wait another couple of minutes, is it? And then we'll
Yeah,
kick off the first track.
yeah, sure. Let's wait for some people.
We have.
Darren's here. Hi,
There's
Darren.
already.
How's it going?
Hey, Darren.
Do we know Darren?
Darren is the singer and guitarist of Godsticks.
Oh, awesome. Welcome, Darren.
Oh, he says it sounds great.
Sounds
Well, he
fine.
said it sounds fine. It sounds
Yeah.
fine.
I,
I went a bit optimistic.
the only reason I was curious because I've got my fan on and it
Oh,
was just boiling in this room, so I didn't want to sweat during the live stream.
envious that you need a fan. To be fair, it's quite miserable here. So.
Is
Well,
it?
actually, it's dried up a bit, so there's
Hmm.
hope. Yeah.
Good, jolly good. Um, who else is here? Anyone else around? How's it going? How's it going, Gav?
It's going well, yeah. A few technical hitches. Like there was a few scary moments. So just before we went live, for some reason I lost Dane. It's like, where's he gone? And then there was a bit of a panic on, but we got it sorted. We got it
Yeah.
sorted. Yeah, we've done our home.
Well,
All right, so I've been told to shut up and play some guitar.
before we do that, let me just explain. So, me and Gav obviously aren't in the same place. This would be a little bit easier if we were in the same place, but Gav is in Wales and I'm in England, so quite far from each other. And we use a piece of software to like get on the same screen. And I accidentally closed out of that just before the stream started. So panicking. Anyway, enough
Cool.
about that. Before we
Do you want
begin,
to? Oh, sorry. Go on.
before we begin, shall we just say who we are and what we do? I think it's obvious what we do, but
Yep.
can you tell me a bit about yourself, Gav?
Oh well, I play guitar for a band called Godsticks, and who are a metal progressive rock band. I'll put all. I believe there are links to
Yeah,
that band site in the comment section. If there's not, I will put some in
I
there.
think everything's in the description, like all the links.
Brilliant.
Definitely the links to you. Maybe we need to put the links to Godsticks in there as well.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Cool. We'll sort that out. And yeah. So what else can I say really? So solo stuff I play is generally a bit more jazz fusion based, which is a contrast to the Godstick stuff, which is more metal progressive rock based. And
Cool.
yeah, I'm gonna we'll say a bit about yourself, and then we'll crack on with some playing, I reckon. So Dane,
Okay,
tell
cool.
me a bit about yourself, mate.
So my name's Dane Baker. I'm a session guitar player. I've been playing guitar for most of my life. I was quite fortunate to have a father who encouraged me to play guitar from a young age because my dad's really into rock music. So that really helped a lot. I'm in a band called Duke and the Others. It's a indie rock duo. We've not really gigged. We're more like a studio band. We just record music and get session players on it. But it's good fun. And I'm beginning a solo career, sort of. Oh, I am beginning a solo career. So I've recorded my first single, and that should be released very soon. And you're going to hear one performance of that today.
Cool. So should we kick off with the first track, Badlands, by yourself? Do you want to
Yeah.
tell us a bit about that track?
Yeah, so Badlands is I want to say it's like a desert funk 70s sort of tune, like 70s rock, 70s funk rock. Sort of inspired by Kroangbin, that sort of desert sound. I don't know how to describe it.
It's very cool. It's got some nice
Thank you.
chops.
I wrote it about a month ago. What else to say about it, really? It's currently it's not professionally mixed, so this is my demo mix. So don't judge me too hard.
Be fun.
Okay, here it goes. Here's Badlands. Hello, welcome back.
Man, that is a cool track. Very, very cool.
Cheers. Thanks. Appreciate
So
it.
there's some use of. So if we're going to talk about some technical aspects about the track, can you tell us a bit about the chromaticism that you use quite a lot through that track?
Yeah. So I guess I play a lot of pentatonic, as a lot of guitar players do, but often I try and use the notes in between as well to add a bit of flavor to it. So there's like the bit that goes. So I use this note sounds wrong if you keep it held.
Yeah.
In this, in this key. But if you go quickly between them, it's, it works quite well. Adds a bit of spice to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And is there another chromatic bit as well?
I think there's
Oh, that bit, isn't it? Oh, there.
Yeah, that's something I noticed about your playing is that you use a lot of chromaticism. To be fair.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot of interest to the scales you're playing. Instead of just playing only the scale notes, go for all the other notes as well.
It sounds jazzy as well. You get some nice jazzy.
Do you know Steve Morse?
Yeah. Steve Morse, great player.
He
I mean, I don't know him.
Well,
He's not
yeah,
like-
I don't know him personally, but he does that all the time, and
Yeah.
I love that sort of style. Because
insane pick technique, doesn't he? He's super fast.
I think he moves his whole arm now.
Yeah.
I think he's got a few issues with his wrist, and like he had to alter his picking technique.
All right.
Quite interesting how he can just adapt like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I use chromatic notes. If no one knows here, chromatic notes are, is it like every single note?
Yeah, pretty much it's like every note. The scale. So, yeah.
Every note in the chromatic scale is every note.
Yes.
So yeah, the reason I do that, it's often used like to get from one place to another place. So if I want to get from this note to this note, you can just play all the notes like that, and it sounds pretty spicy.
So the little licks that you got going, there's lots of like triplet note hammer-on pull-offs. They're quite nice.
Oh yeah. I can't even remember it now. Under pressure. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember it. That's it.
Well, Darren just asked what amp setting do you use for your clean tone?
Very good question, Darren. So, my treble is on 10 o'clock. My middle is on 9 o'clock. My bass is on 10:30. If you want to go half hours.
Is that coming from the Marshall as well?
That's coming from the Marshall, yeah. Everything's coming from the Marshall.
Cool.
So this one, I'm sort of alternating between triplets and 16th notes, or 8th notes, sorry. So the reason you add different rhythms is to make it a bit more interesting, like alter the phrasing a little bit.
Yeah.
So instead of just going, if I played it on one note, only, it's something like. Which is way more interesting than going. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Play different rhythms to make your phrasing more interesting.
That's the thing as well, as guitarists, we collect these little licks, so we keep them in a bag, don't we? So that is one of those things. Yeah, we keep it in a bag ready to use. So, yeah, cool. So there was a point during that track as well where you play some Dorians, you play some modal sounds in there. So you're playing a natural six on them.
Yeah. So this song is in F sharp minor. I should say as well, in a lot of my tracks I often play like 4-note chords instead of playing the whole or the bass notes. That's because I've already got a bass guitar and other bass instruments in there, so I don't want to make it too muddy.
Yeah, so you distribute the parts throughout the instruments.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So what you're saying there, the Dorian, I sort of leave the F sharp minor scale to go to the Dorian to make it a bit more interesting to the ear. It's because it's quite dissonant. So I play. And that note over this chord is this note here, which is sort of uncomfortable. It wants like a resolution, but it makes it a lot more jazzy.
That's good.
Yeah. Should we move on to your first track?
Yeah, cool.
You want to introduce it?
So this is a Godsticks track, Don't Say a Word to Me, titled. This is probably one of my favourite Godsticks tracks to perform live. It's got some cool sounds going on. It's got a really cool riff. Yeah, and a really cool time signature, 7/4. So let's get to it.
Okay, here we go.
Cool.
Well, welcome back. Love that track.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there's some interesting things going on there, particularly the time signature at the beginning, which is
Remind us
yeah.
what the time signature is.
Well, it's in 7/4, and I mean, when I always think about odd time signatures, I don't literally count them, or I never count them, to be honest. You literally feel it. So when I practice something like an odd time signature or the concept of it, I put it through practice, and then I internalize the information, and then it becomes more of a feeling. You just feel it rather than just counting it.
Does it go from 7/4 to standard time later? Does it go back
Yeah,
to 4?
I think throughout the track there's only that one section, just the verses, which are in 7/4. But when
Right.
you count it, you literally I count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just 1, 2, 3. And the interesting thing is that the riff starts on the end of 1. So you've got like that 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah. Your volume's gone really low now. What's going on?
Ooh, is that better?
I think. Let's play again, please. Oh, yeah, that's better. I don't know what happened there.
Cool, we got it back.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our first stream, and technical hitches will be in play here.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, we've got to nearly 6:30, and I think we're still here, so that's good.
This is good. This is a good sign.
But yeah, I think the time signature is very interesting. So
Yeah, and what I like about odd time signatures, it adds a bit of interest to a track, but it should never sound odd, even though it's like an odd time signature. It shouldn't like sound wrong. If you mind you, it's always subjective what is wrong, but it should sound musical. You shouldn't just put
definitely.
it in there just for the sake of it.
That's why I call them interesting time signatures instead of odd, because odd's got a negative connotation, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I like.
Sorry, I was just going to talk about some of the techniques you use in that. So you seem to use a lot of open strings in your rhythm playing and your lead playing. So when you're quite high up the neck, I do hear a lot of open strings.
I know it sounds dissonant, which is the opposite of pretty, really. But yeah, it sounds more open, and that's the most obvious thing you could say about.
Sounds jangly, doesn't it?
Yeah. The clean part. So Darren's asking about the clean part. What's the clean part? So
I was going to ask about this as well. So I think the bit that Darren's talking about is when you suddenly lose your plectrum and you put it in your mouth. So
I know, because I'm useless at tucking it away under my finger, so it needs to go up there. But yeah, so I use fingers for this section because obviously it's doable. It's doable with a pick, but there's too much attack on the plectrum. So fingers give it more of a warm.
Is that because it's in a quieter part of the song? You don't need it cut through as much.
That's it. There's still vocals singing over the top of that, so it's an accompaniment rather than the main feature of the track. So just into something nice and chimey in the background, and so it's not supposed to be obnoxiously up front or anything like that.
Cool. I like it. So that's the reason why you do that. You're trying to go with the mood of the song and the tone of the song at the time. So when it's really loud, you need more attack and more volume. When it's quieter, you can be quieter as well.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one bit that I'm very, very interested in.
Oh, right.
And I think you do some sort of sweep picking, but like maybe on a couple of strings. With some hammer-ons or a pull-off, sorry.
Right, so during the solo section, you got this... it's just a 2-string sweep, so sweeping down, and then a pull-off. Insanely large stretch up to that.
How many frets in between are you playing?
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah,
I can only seem to play it when I play up here. Jesus, how do you do that?
Well, I'm a very uncool guitarist as well. I don't tend to play with my guitar all the way down there because that's just impossible for me.
You're not punk rock.
Yeah, no. Literally. You've got to get that pull off. It's really difficult. Yeah.
Have you seen that Instagram guitarist that has this mad stretch? Is his name Felipe?
His finger almost looks dislocated, and he's doing these insane runs.
Well, I think he used it. Does he use his thumb as well?
Possibly something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like this anyway, like proper stretching across the fretboard. But he's crazy. I think his name is Felipe.
Oh yeah, but the good thing to practice for those sweeps, like if you're just getting into sweep picking, which is the concept of sweep picking is where you're playing like an arpeggio of a chord, but you're not playing them. It's not like that. It's not like a full chord. But you're sweeping. You're playing the notes individually. You're you're not picking them individually either. You just. I do need a sixth finger. Yeah.
Here's one for you. Is sweep picking and economy picking the same thing?
Well, you can use sweeping technique when you're economy picking because it's like alternative, and then when you land on a downstroke there, downstroke and then the next string.
Right. So economy picking is when you're going to the next string and you're not really continuing up the.
That's it. So rather than just doing constant alternate picking.
Right.
So on and so forth, and vice versa.
I just realized that. Sorry, go on. Can't continue.
Yeah, vice versa. When you're going back up the strings, you sweep it up type thing.
Right, I see. I was just going to say I realized that there is some sweep picking in the track that I played as well.
Oh yeah.
So there's one section that goes. And then it's sort of a sweep down and then alternate picking back up. Like
that's like economy picking. I think Darren just said alternate picking sounds more aggressive. I agree.
It does.
Yeah, definitely.
It does.
Yeah.
I think sweep picking sounds a bit smoother.
Yeah.
What was I going to say just then?
Yeah, there's definitely a benefit to both. Like for sound-wise, I mean, it all depends on the kind of sound you're trying to achieve with the technique. If you want the sound that alternate picking gives, then that's the one you go for.
Sure.
Both. Yeah.
I think I've got a poor sweep picking technique. I mean, it does work, but I've noticed that when I sweep pick, my thumb moves that way a little bit. So I think you're meant to keep it like proper, your thumb locked in.
Yeah.
Ideally, but I have this thing where I just move it to like in the direction of the string like that.
Yeah, Malmsteen did definitely invent it, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh right, he says he doesn't sweep pick, doesn't he? But he does. I've seen him do sweep picking.
Hey Glenn, how's it going?
Hey Glenn, how's it going? How's Mallorca? I'm surprised he came. He's in Mallorca. He's on holiday.
Nice.
This was my mate Glenn.
Nice one, Glenn.
There's more time signature chat coming up, Glenn. So stay tuned for that. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah. So.
Or is there anything else you want to mention?
No, I think that was it for that track. Are you ready to go the distance? No, Dane.
Okay.
I had to put that joke in there.
We've practiced the jokes.
Yeah.
So the reason Gav said that is because my next track is called "Go the Distance," which will be my debut single. I can say a bit more about this one because this one's actually been mixed and mastered. It was mixed by Charles Volk. It was mastered by Philip Marsden. And the drumming on it is also Charles Volk. Excellent guys, you should check them out. This one is more disco, pop, rock. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So
I love it.
In this one, sorry to say, there's no interesting time signatures, although 4/4 is quite interesting itself.
But there's a lot of absolutely. 4/4 is it's what you do with it, and you do some very interesting things with it. So
it's used a lot for a reason. So this one is called "Go the Distance." we're back.
Awesome. That is very cool. I love that. I love the note groupings with your chromaticism in that track again.
I can't stop doing the chromatic notes.
Yeah.
Then there's something wrong with me.
They work. They sound great. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. It sounds fantastic.
I'll just try and shoehorn them into every track that I do from now on. But yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Cool. I like your phrasing. So who are your influences? What guitarist do you go to for your phrasing, or what's your inspiration?
There were quite a few guitarists that inspired this track. So again, Steve Morse, who I mentioned earlier. There's definitely a big Joe Satriani vibe in some of it as well. And in the section I call the solo section, which is actually most of the track, but the slower solo, I was thinking Alex Lifeson. I love his Alex Lifeson from Rush. He's got such a beautiful like phrasing in solos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's just really simple stuff like really simple individual notes, whole notes.
It sounds great. It adds a lot, and it's only just simple notes, as you say. But what you're doing with those notes is the phrasing, the feel of it. It sounds great. Darren said some tasty licks. Great track too. So,
cheers, Darren. Appreciate it. So that's one person who's going to buy the single, maybe.
So, what is your method when it comes to composing tracks? How do you start, and is there any advice you could give to anybody that's getting into writing songs?
And I don't write the same way every time. So we'll go the distance. I think I just tried to. I went with a vision of writing a funk track, turn into more like a disco track, which I'm happy about because I love bands like Chic, and love funk bands. So I just tried writing some funky chords, really randomly though. I never ever think about theory. The theory doesn't enter my head when I write. We can like analyze things later on, but the theory never is a big part of it. But with Badlands, it was a completely different way of writing because I found a reference track. I found a track that I really like on Spotify, and then what I did was I sort of found the MP3 of it, put it into my DAW, my audio software, and I used the arrangement from that track. So I used the same tempo. And
right, so you're listening to taking influence from other tracks and then just thinking, oh, can I manipulate that and make it my own? Yeah, that's good.
Which is completely legitimate because you can't copyright an arrangement. So, for example,
well, in my opinion, everything is pretty much a manipulation of something that's already been done.
Yeah.
So if we take our influences and what we like about it, and then we make it our own. That's how new things.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, even when you've got a reference track that you enjoy, the end product of what you write doesn't sound the same. It's not the same track. Might not even be in the same key or anything like that. But you can think, oh, I like how this verse changes so suddenly or so quickly to this chorus.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, okay, this verse is only 9 seconds long. This chorus is going on for this amount of time, and it just gives you a good starting point to write in your own tracks. It gives you like, it makes it a bit easier to be creative, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, cool. Darren asked, do you have any tips to improve bending? Some great bending work. You got any tip for players wanting to improve their bending accuracy?
Good question, Darren. Very good question. I think it's about stability and keeping that thumb locked on the back of the neck and having it in the middle of the neck. Although my thumb does tend to go towards the top when I play the A string.
Do you actually have any ideas? How do you? Because whenever I practice bending, and particularly bending up to the notes, referencing it first, and then
it's a great idea to put. So if you've got this note here, which is a whole tone above this note, you know what this one sounds like already, and then you can reach it and then stop. As soon as you hear that note, stop. The next thing you could add is vibrato, which takes a lot more practice. It's all about hand strength or finger strength, muscle memory. If you don't develop the muscles in your fingers, it's going to be very difficult. So people fail at it all the time, then they give up, but they've not given their muscles time to, get used to bending strings. And you eventually get the strength to do vibrato like that as well, where it does take a long time.
Yeah.
So don't be discouraged. Yeah.
It's always about patience and resilience.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what level you're at as a guitarist.
Yeah.
You get to a certain point where you think, yes, I've achieved this, and then another mountain appears. There's always some mountain to climb with it. I suppose it's like that with most things, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Me, as a guitarist, so whenever I achieve something or I've mastered something, there's always something new to
every day is a school day.
Yeah.
So we've been playing guitar for years, right? But there's still so much to learn.
Yeah, definitely. Should we move on to the next track?
Sure, yeah. So,
is there anything else you want to say about
one thing I was going to mention was the intro to Go the Distance was originally just synthesizer.
Actually, this is a good point. Yeah.
And I sent this track to Gav about a month ago. I think I only wrote both of these tracks about a month ago. Originally it was just synthesizer, and this goes to show it's a good idea to show people your tracks before you fully record them or release them, because Gav mentioned, why don't you try playing that intro on the guitar? So I took that same melody, which was it was only played on synth, but it sounded good when you layered it with a guitar.
Yeah, it does sound great. You play it really well, and I love the fact that it's not like a straight up like a load of notes just going for ages. Yeah. There's a rhythm to it. It sounds interesting. Do you know what I mean?
It is. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's the rhythm I wrote on the synth. But it's not like Eddie Van Halen sort of tapping. It's just for flavor. You can play the same thing with a plectrum, like that, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good staccato. So even though the notes are there under your fingers much easier, doesn't mean you should play it like that. If you play it on one string, you don't get any bleed from the other string, and you don't have any of that attack that you don't want. Really smooth sounding.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
But yeah, so thank you Gav, for recommending that.
You wrote it.
But yeah, it was good to bounce it off of you, because then it made it better. But yeah, no credit.
I'm so glad you took it on board, though. It sounds great. It sounds good.
Cheers. Do you want to tell us about the next track, Gav?
Oh yeah, so this is one of my solo pieces. It's definitely a contrast to the God Six stuff, which is obviously prog metal stuff. This is more jazz fusion based instrumental. There's some horn sections. I need to mention that it's not completely finished, but I've done some rough mix. There's still some instrumentation to be recorded on this, but I'm happy with how it sounds for this purpose right now. And yeah, it's called Cherry Blossom. I hope you enjoy.
Here we go. Awesome. Really love
Cool.
that.
Thank you very much.
So many different
Yeah.
styles in that track.
Yes.
How would you describe that?
Oh, there's lots of jazz fusion is the first thing that comes to mind, but I suppose jazz fusion originally came about when jazz and rock fused together in the 70s. But there's loads of different styles going on there. There's like funk as well as the rock and the jazz. So there's a few different things in it. But jazz fusion is the umbrella term, I suppose.
So you're just not happy with one style?
No.
Same here. I can't stick to one. I can never stick to one.
But only if it works. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh yeah, I wouldn't just shoehorn like metal into
like
the jazz
yourself.
fusion.
That's it. Yeah, like yourself. I don't really think about it. It's kind of how it goes. It just comes out that way. So,
Yeah, sure. Cool. So there was a section in it that I found very interesting. You seem to have a solo section with a legato line where you move position quite quickly from here to up here, and then you did some tapping.
Is that the?
That mental line.
That is a combination. I was actually looking at it earlier, and it's a combination of triplet 16ths and triplet 32nd notes.
Cool.
Yeah, so I won't go into too much detail because I could talk about it for ages and it would take up too much time. But slowly is kind of like when it gets to there, it's like like that.
I think people would be interested in that because you don't stay in a box. You're not like stuck in the pentatonic box, for example, and people can't break out of it.
Yeah, well, that's utilizing pretty much the G major scale. So it's just a run up the G major scale. Then. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, if anyone wants to tab for that, I'm sure some people might. I'll ask Gav to write it down.
I'll see if it'll take me hours to.
Or we could pay someone to transcribe it. No, we have no money. Is there a key change in this song?
There are key changes. It does alternate between G major and F major. So the verses. I should talk about the time signature.
Oh yeah, please do. If Glenn's still listening, he'll love that.
Yeah. So this the first riff is in 5/4, and it kind of goes like. Now these chords, this is the G6, B minor 7, 11, and A minor 7. Again, with the time signature, I'm not really thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm kind of thinking 3 and then 2. So it's like 1, 2. And there's also another interesting place where the chords or the rhythm sits, so it's kind of syncopated. I don't know why. I'm probably completely wrong. I'm probably the only person that thinks this, but it kind of reminded me of like a disrupted waltz or something like that. And I think you can actually get a waltz in 5/4. So how do you come up with the parts of the horns? So the horn sections is that. If you're talking about the chorus lines, that kind of thing. So I'm just accenting it, and I'm a big fan of multiple rhythms happening at the same time that complement each other. So simple ideas that go together to make something sound complicated. I think it's like Wolfpack do it.
So like simple things going together to sound complex overall.
Yeah, because when you hear. it's not particularly difficult, but when you hear it in the context of the song, and you've got
Yeah, I mean, if that was in the context of Wolfpack, then you'd have that chord just like ringing out when Joe Dart goes crazy on the bass. So you can't have everything going crazy at the same time, can you?
True, yeah. Darren just asked about the diminished run that happens in one of the later solos. I'm guessing, is that over the funk bit, which is like hang on. Oh.
Yeah, that one's super spicy.
So yeah, that's a half whole tone.
There you go.
And then that's like the more diminished scale run up there then. So yeah, and that is the interesting thing with that is there is some hybrid picked as well, because I like the spank you get.
Can you tell us what hybrid picking is?
Right, yeah. So hybrid picking is when you is what it sounds like really. It's the combination of using a plectrum and your finger. And you could just use the one. In that instance, I'm just using the middle finger. So it's like middle finger.
Yeah, you're really pulling it, aren't you?
Yeah, it gives a bit more spank. It gives another timbre rather than. It's a sound, and that's where it is. People don't realise that they always go out and buy the most expensive pedal to create a new sound, but you've got so many different sounds at your fingertips, literally.
Oh, you're one of those. Tone is in the fingers, man.
Yeah, tone is definitely in the fingers or the pick. So if you play it there, sounds different to when you play it down there. When you play it there, it sounds different to when you play it down there. So yeah, you got all these things at your disposal already before you spend the pen.
Speaking of picking, what pick do you use and why do you use it?
Oh, I use a Jazz 3 pick.
Oh, is that a bigger one? A black one?
This is the black one. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Is it? I use Jazz 3 as well.
Jazz 3, you use the red one.
I use the red one.
You know, I really want them to do it in blue because I love the color blue and I think it looks really cool. Anyway, yeah.
Is it
the most ridiculous thing I've said throughout this entire stream.
I thought they were all red. Is it?
No, they're black. Yeah, mine's black anyway. So.
There you go. So we use the same plectrum. Must be a good one.
Yeah,
then.
Nice and heavy. I mean, years ago I used a lighter plectrum, but I soon realised that you're wasting so much time with a floppy plectrum. Do you know what I mean? I tend to use lighter picks with an acoustic because it gives a nicer
sound. Same here. I only use lighter picks on acoustic. I think using a heavy pick on an acoustic is quite difficult as well. You know, if you like strumming chords.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, a heavier pick allows for a quicker attack. It's difficult to do that with.
When you're playing like alternate pick leads, you need that. You need it not to bend.
Yeah,
you need that attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So there was a keyboard solo in this track.
Oh yeah.
And your tone and volume completely changed. What happened there?
Right, so I'm using an FM3 by Fractal Audio for my amp settings, and I just set up a volume patch on that, which dipped the volume so I could get the keyboards to cut through the mix. Because that keyboard solo performed by Matt Clayton, who is a very good keyboard player. And if anybody requires, I'll put a link to his page. We should link all the people that we mentioned, to be fair, the session musicians. So if anybody requires Matt Clayton to record on anything, he is top notch. Yeah, so his keyboard solo, which was fantastic, to come through on that.
Should we write it in the chat in case anyone?
Yes. Yeah.
What's his name? Matt Clayton.
Matt Clayton.
Is that correct, Matt Clayton?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I'll put an actual link to his page after as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Awesome. Oh, by the way, one thing I did not ask you that I meant
Yeah.
to ask you. In the first track you played, what guitar was that? Is that to hand or?
Oh yeah. So this is it's quite old now, mine, but this is a JP6. It's one of the first ones that was produced when John Petrucci went over to Music Man Guitars. I saw him performing. I bought the DVD of Dream Theater Scenes from a Memory, and I thought, what guitar is that? It sounds amazing. It looks cool as well. So yeah, but then there's a little guitar shop in Cardiff called Cardiff Guitars. So I don't think it's there anymore. If it is, I do apologise if anybody says yes, it is there. But yeah, but I don't think it's there anymore. But yeah, I bought this about 14 years ago, something like that, maybe a bit longer.
Still sounding brand new.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and it's got the original pickups in there, which is it's got. Hang on, I wrote this down because I never remember. It's got the Air Norton. I know it's got the Air Norton in the neck position, but it's got the Steve Special in the bridge, and they changed that.
I was going to say,
yeah, it sounds great.
In that track, it really picks up every last little thing. It's
thanks, man.
I've heard
Thanks.
you
Yeah,
even like when you play harmonics on it, for example, they really ring out well.
yeah, it's a great guitar. I love it, and it needs a bit of a setup, but yeah, it's great.
Cool. And what's this one in your hand?
This is a Charvel. I got the. You think I'd know this off the cuff, right? But
oh no.
So yeah, this is the MJ DK24. It's got a mahogany body with a figured walnut. It's got Seymour Duncan pickups in it. It's got the full shred humbucker in the bridge position, and the flat strat in mid, and it's got the custom Alnico 2 in the neck position as well. So, and it's a lovely guitar. Yeah.
It is. Well, I think you might notice that this guitar looks almost exactly the same as yours.
Yes, I was just about to return the question, actually. So, I mean, you used an Ovation guitar on that track,
yeah,
and you don't see too many of them around, and I love the sound of that guitar. It sounds great.
Yeah, this was, I think I looked at the serial number. Apparently this one was made sometime between 1975 and 1980.
Right.
Yeah, they're single coil pickups, but they're wired really hot, which was quite new for the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really powerful pickups.
Nice.
The reason I bought this was because I saw Alex Turner play one. I love like his style, his phrasing. But yeah, I really love this guitar. Sounds sweet.
Yeah, it does sound great. And obviously the Guthrie Govan Charvel.
Yeah, this is a Charvel MJ SD24. So almost the same model as yours, but this is the Guthrie Govan signature. Yeah, the pickups, what are they? It's just a Charvel custom humbucking and custom single core pickups. So no fancy names for this one, just Charvel custom.
Has that got a basswood body? Because the Music Man has a basswood body, and I prefer those over any body, to be fair. The basswood, in my opinion, sounds the best.
Do you think it's got more sustain?
I think so. I think it cuts through.
This is basswood with an ash top.
Yeah.
And apparently caramelized maple neck. And this is really buttery smooth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's nice.
And it's got lock-in tuners on the back. These come in very handy.
Yeah.
have you got that?
You got to lock it at the neck there, and if a string, so this is just like a normal like Strat type bridge. It's not like a Floyd Rose.
Oh, I see. This one's recessed.
Yeah.
A little bit. But yeah, lovely guitar. Not the cheapest.
No.
But this, for me, this is like a one and done guitar. You can play jazz on it, you can play metal on it. You just have to use the right pickup configuration, and you don't need another guitar.
And if you're doing multiple different genres, styles in your music, or if you're sessioning, particularly, you want that kind of guitar, don't you? You want to have a tool that can cover all bases.
Absolutely. If you go into a studio, or if you're recording in your own studio, you can very quickly find the tone you need without faffing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So are there any questions from? Thank you all for watching so far. It's been an honour having you here.
Yeah, thank you. It's been
if you have any questions,
pleasure.
we'd love to hear them.
Any more questions? No. I suppose I can ask you another one. So, you seem very comfortable going around the neck, like moving from one position to another position. Is there
I don't know how I managed to give that impression.
Well, you seem to fly up and down quite a lot, in my opinion. Do you have any advice for a student who's wanting to learn the fretboard?
Well, knowing where your notes are, knowing your scales, practicing your scales, internalizing those scales, coming up with little tricks to. There's loads of information out there to how to navigate the fretboard, but the best ways to start is obviously know your pentatonic scale and know your major scale. So that way, then you got, and in every position as well, in every key. So then you know where you can fly on a fretboard, so to speak. So because I know major, I know so yeah,
and with the major scale as well, that's how you communicate the intervals as well. So if you know the major scale, you understand when people mention random numbers, these are just intervals. So learning the major scale is so important.
Yeah, and the chords that relate to it as well. And you get, when you know the scale and you know the notes of the scale, you get a better understanding of how chords are built and what a 13 means or what 11
Yeah,
means.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Or a sharp 13. You understand all that as soon as you know what the intervals are.
So would you recommend a student learns more than one position of the minor pentatonic scale?
Yeah,
this
like
is the most common scale that you use as a rock guitarist.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the best scale of them all. It's all the best notes taken from that major scale.
I mostly use it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need any other scale if you got that. Yeah, pentatonic scale. Learn your pentatonic scale in all the positions.
I think it can be quite a good idea to say, if you know one position of it, you can go up the same string and find the same notes on one string, and then you can find the other positions from that.
Absolutely. So yeah, what you're saying is that if you know it down, you should know it up the neck as well. So that's a good way. Then you can think of it going up the neck.
You can think of it more horizontally than vertically.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, definitely. Yeah, what was I going to? I was going to say something, but it's completely left my mind now. It'll come back.
Well, we've been here for an hour now. Do you think we ought to wrap up?
Yeah.
Unless there's anything anyone else is thinking. Anyone in the chat? Don't forget to drop us a like if you liked it, by the way.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Also subscribe to Gav's channel, because
ring that bell.
Ring that bell. If you want us to do it again, let us know. If you want us to give up, let us know. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. It's been a pleasure, and thank you, Gav, as well. I'm looking forward to episode 2.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care. See you.
Take care.